I'm on my way to Seattle to present our latest findings to the Bill & Melinda Gates Foundation. We've undertaken an independent research into the performance of extension services in Africa. But now I'd like to talk to you about an issue of increasing importance: independence of research. The ancient Greeks had rules and values for research and its independence. Scientific principles of validation and replicability, assuring that the same conclusions are drawn if the same protocol is followed, are over 3,000 years old. Dutch citizens are increasingly skeptical about research results. Some argue that independent research has proven that superfoods are good for your health. And meanwhile, others claim that independent research has not found any evidence that superfoods have positive contribution to human health. In theory, this is impossible, but in reality, it is common practice. It seems that independent research is eroding. It's no longer an institution that society relied on for centuries, not in the least because there are declining public funds for independent research, and researchers are forcibly turned into fundraisers among private donors who may have an interest. Dostoevsky wrote in Crime and Punishment, "To go wrong in one's way is better than to go right in someone else's." That statement summarizes what I want to postulate about independent research. Independence of research is not solely a responsibility of the researcher. Yes, he or she should safeguard that the research protocol meets all standards. But don't we all consider it of higher importance that such research is embedded in an organizational environment that secures its independence? External pressure and internal power structures can impose stress on the drawing and presentation of results. Let's take the example of impact evaluations. Impact evaluations are hot and hyped and are being conducted in large numbers. Apparently, there is a hunger for more evidence. Where evaluations used to be the domain of universities, they are now big business for accountancy firms and other profit-seeking consultancy companies. With an impact evaluation comes an implicit assumption of independence. But how do you safeguard that independence when management and shareholders of the organization push for profit-making? Companies that profile themselves with corporate social responsibility or sustainability are keen to avoid negative publicity. Pressure on evaluators to frame the results in such a manner that image damage is averted is a consequence. Impact evaluators that seek profit are more prone to adjust the outcomes of their research than not-for-profit evaluators. I personally experienced this recently when I discussed my involvement in an impact study of a Dutch multinational and was told that their own evaluation staff would join my team. Join my team? How on earth can I deliver an independent evaluation under those conditions? I declined the assignment. Since 2001, all government policies are to be evaluated regularly and independently, states the website of our Ministry of Foreign Affairs. IOB, the Policy and Operations Evaluation Department, that is generally known for its independence, is responsible for evaluations. I heard recently from a reliable source that our Minister of Trade and Aid has seen enough critical reports by the IOB and is considering measures to scale down its activities. Having a barking dog in the house can be irritating, but putting it on a low-calories diet is a rigid measure and not without danger. It may damage the credibility and performance of a sector or a country as a whole. I strongly advocate that impact evaluations and other independent research should be limited to organizations that have credibility embedded in their corporate policies, with clear standards for securing independent research protocols for their staff, and perhaps more importantly, regulations that safeguard that higher management has no influence on research outcomes, and strong measures and implications in case of violation. A society without independent thinkers and research organizations becomes susceptible to bias, political opinion and emotions, rather than depend on independent research and real evidence. In times of increasing populism and decreasing trust in the state and institutions, old principles of independence of research should stand their ground.